Welcome back. The views at Amicalola Falls State Park and Lodge are already spectacular, but now prepare for an even more thrilling way to see Georgia's most visited state park.
Yeah, a new addition adds 7 zip lines and 3 sky bridges to the park's aerial adventure tour, taking brave men and women 250 feet above the ground. And some not so brave people will be there as well. Good day's Paul Milliken. He's there and he's in Dawsonville. Paul, you're about to go flying. Yeah, I always love when you try to slip something into the teleprompter that's going to compliment you. You know I'm not going to fall for that.
Poor Paul.
Come on, man. I mean, you're a brainless anchor, aren't you? I thought you would just read it. Someday it's going to happen. I bring my A game
when you write the lead in.
You're going to be tired. You're not going to have your coffee. And you're going to read it. Yeah, standing up in the treetops right now. Got to tell you, it is a beautiful morning here at Amicalola Falls State Park and Lodge. Really, the leaves have finally changed. I don't know how much you'll be able to tell up here because it's a little misty, but Blaze will pan around and show you. I mean, it's just gorgeous right now, really. And they keep telling us it all just changed this weekend. So now is the time to come see the leaves, and the best way to do it, it's not from the ground, it's from up here in the treetops with the brand new level 2 zip line course. This is our good friend, our zip lining guru, Chad. His poor guy has been with us many, many times, and we just keep getting worse and worse, don't we?
Oh, no, you guys are perfectly fine.
Nice.
I enjoy your company.
Oh, I like that, Chad. Thank you. We paid him to say that, by the way. So, Chad, this is great. Brand new level 2. So how much does this add to what you already had here?
So the level 1 course was 9 zip lines.
Yeah.
And now we've added 7 more, so now it's a total of 16 zip lines with that big finisher, that 2,000-foot zip line at the end.
I love that. And then you've got these great sky bridges, too. A couple of those, right?
There's about 6 on the level 2 course and 3 on the level 1 course.
Nice. I love that. All right, so let's talk about who can do this. And we always talk about this. Let's start with the level 1. For people who've never zip lined before, who have always wanted to do it, can they start on the level 1? Is that for starters?
Absolutely. The oldest person to actually complete that course was 89 years old.
No way.
And she was a pretty fit old lady, I'll tell you what.
Oh, I love that. All right, so now let's talk about level 2. Does it get more tricky from level 2? Does that have to be a little more training and a little more experience?
Yeah, a little bit more. There is a strenuous hike from level 1 to level 2, so that we keep that in mind. But like I said, the oldest person to complete level 2, that was a 73-year-old man.
No kidding.
Yeah,
All right, so this is something you can do if you want to do it, and this is such a great time of year to do it, right?
Absolutely. Leaves are changing, especially on the two big lines. You get the great view off to that mountainside over there. So.
Yeah, and again, on a morning like this where it's a little misty out there, it's just gorgeous. Now, as we get into the wintertime here very soon, you will still be doing tours, right? You just need to have a reservation?
Absolutely. At least 24-hour notice in advance. That way we can make sure we have guides on hand to take you guys out.
And you guys, I just want to point this out, too. I mean, you who put this zipline course in, you are the experts at this. Screaming Eagle Adventures, I mean, you've put the zip lines at Banning Mills, you've done Unicoi. I mean, you guys have it down.
Absolutely. We've actually done it in Tennessee, Myrtle Beach, and Alabama as well. So we're all over the southeast here.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to test out your line this morning. Time for a little zip lining. Sharon, you haven't been through this sheer horror yet of me zip lining. Are your earplugs in? Because you're going to need them.
Two things before you go, Paul. 2 things. One, I'm concerned about Chad's hearing. He's done these segments with you before. He still seems to be hearing okay. That's good from all your screaming. And the other,
Chad knows, but he's got headphones in. Chad's listening to music right now. Okay.
One other quick note, Paul. You called me a mindless anchor, but I can tell you this: I don't need an R on my glove to tell me which hand to put it on.
Okay, you know what? Look, it's early. It's early, and sometimes I have very symmetrical hands. I can't tell the difference. All right, let's do this, Chad. What do I need to do? Just go for it.
Come on, Paul. I'm rooting for you.
All right, ready?
I'm rooting for you. You can do it.
Let's do it. Yeah! Woohoo! Oh, I love this.
Look at that.
This is so amazing. It's beautiful up here. It's so nice. It's nice and crisp.
I'm just happy he has his gloves on his correct hands.
Like a pro.
Love to tell him.
Stay with us for a minute if you can hear me, because Blaze is going to go too. All right, as soon as we clear me, let's send Blaze across, because Blaze took the wireless stuff. All right, Blaze, do it. Come on, let's do it.
There we go.
Screaming.
Here he comes.
Taking you for a ride. Everybody's going for a ride with Blaze right
look
now.
at that scenery.
I love
Funny
this.
how Blaze doesn't scream.
That's what it's like, folks.
I can't hear Blaze screaming, Paul.
Nice. No, you couldn't hear Blaze's screams. He was choked with emotion. Is what it was. Choked with emotion. He couldn't get them out.
Double check your gloves, and we'll check back in with you in a minute. Okay.
Great job there. Great
Amicalola
job.
Falls State Park and Lodge is located at 418 Amicalola Falls Road in Dawsonville. Reservations for the zip lines may be made online. Then we got a link on our website, fox5atlanta.com. Just find the story under the Good Day section.
Looks like a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
He did really well. And coming up tomorrow morning, it's been a fixture on on the Atlanta food scene for 45 years. Nakado is known as the city's first authentic Japanese restaurant, and Paul will be there taking a look back at the restaurant's impressive history and, of course, doing a little taste testing as well.
Fox Tonight.
Good morning. Welcome back. The time right now is 8:47, and we're tracking just a little bit of light rain that has moved over into northwest Georgia ahead of a cold front. But as close as that cold front is to us, it is not in a hurry to push through the metro area or North Georgia for at least a couple days' time. It's going to hover back here to our north and northwest and provide opportunities for some rainfall. There's just not going to be much of it today. This is the extent of what we're seeing so far. What's been more widespread at this point has been the fog, and over the next hour and a half, we should get some big improvements where we've had thick fog, but the dense fog advisory does last until 10 a.m. That's where we have had and will continue to have some pockets of visibility that's down to only a quarter of a mile or even lower. Let's talk about the rain, though, because a little more might push in from LJ to Rome here over the next few hours. But watch how this kind of breaks up to only a few scattered showers in the afternoon. It's a day that's not completely rain-free, but overall, it looks like it's going to be in pretty good shape. I think many of us will get a decent amount of sunshine mixing with the clouds, and we're going to warm up nicely. So much so, in fact, that we're probably tying the record today if we top out at 78 degrees in Atlanta. Overnight, mostly cloudy, a few showers here and there, but then there's going to be another wave of rain and thunderstorms that comes across mainly north and northeast Georgia tomorrow morning and still leaves the rest of our area with the risk of scattered rain. Tomorrow, it's more likely that more areas actually get rain. So we're going to go from a 20% chance of rain today to a 40% tomorrow, and then a higher 60% chance for Wednesday and Thursday. And on these days here, when it isn't raining, it's likely to be overcast and look pretty gloomy outside. But look at that temperature drop. We're going to go from upper 70s today and tomorrow down to low 60s for highs on Thursday, and then again on Sunday after a little break there with some really pleasant fall weather for Friday and Saturday. Let's check back in now with Katie Beasley for a Skyfox traffic update. Katie?
Good morning, and we're ending the morning with a big crash on the downtown connector now, blocking 4 left lanes. Several vehicles involved in this. This is just before you get up to 10th and 14th Street. And again, it's blocking off a few left lanes. Your ride now is up to about an hour. It jumped from 25 minutes to an hour, just like that on the connector between Langford Parkway and the Brookwood interchange as you work your way north. So big heads up there on the connector if you're heading in that direction. Meanwhile, your big 3 from the northern suburbs are all still red rides, and they've been hovering around the same trip times all morning. Kind of an eerie thing, but all 33 or 34 minutes as you head in this morning from your big 3. Buck, back to you.
Katie, thank you. The price of gas, it's on the rise. Over the last 2 weeks, the average price for a gallon of regular gas jumped 7 cents nationally, making the average $2.58. The average cost for a gallon of gas in Georgia is $2.35. That's up 11 cents from this time last year. Economists believe the higher prices are the result of a strong economy and more Americans hitting the road. BMW is recalling more than 1 million vehicles with parts connected to car fires. So far, 4 drivers have reported injuries. The largest part of the recall covers 1, 3, and 5 series cars from model years 2007 through 2011. X3 and X5 SUVs are also affected. The dealers will replace any faulty wiring or connectors starting on December 18th.
Well, it's the most wonderful time of the year. So where do you plan to do your Christmas shopping? In stores or from the comfort of your home? Well, a new study shows a majority of spending this holiday season is expected to happen online rather than in stores. This year, 51% of shoppers are expected to buy gifts online. That's up from last year when it was split between online and brick and mortar stores. And listen to this. Kroger announced that it's launching its own clothing line. The nation's largest grocery chain says it wants to compete with retailers like Amazon and Walmart. The line is named Our Brands, and it will be carried by Fred Meyer department stores. So far, there are no plans to sell it in Kroger stores.
That's perfect. If you buy too many groceries, you can get bigger pants. Right?
Get them right there.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thinking they probably will one day have them at the Kroger stores. 8:51 is now the time. Bigger pants. Only you, Buck, only you. Well, coming up on Good Day Atlanta, a school segregates students during lunchtime based on their grades. The new program is causing a lot of debate, as you can imagine, and we're talking about it next in Hot Topics.
Welcome back. It's 8:55. A controversial new program at a Florida high school segregates students during lunchtime based on their grades.
The basic principle of the program is to flag students who may not be on track to graduate and give them an incentive to improve. On-track students are allowed to eat lunch outside the cafeteria, but students who don't meet the on-track criteria must stay in the crowded lunchroom for the entire period.
So that brings us to today's hot topic question. What do you think of the program? We want to bring in Ron and Elise now to discuss.
Very controversial.
That word segregate.
I know.
Boy.
Tricky, right?
Yeah.
It seems like what a lot of students are and their parents are concerned about here is that the school is extremely crowded. So a lot of those kids that are having to stay in the cafeteria are eating on the floor. And there have been pictures of them, having their lunch on the ground. So that's one thing that they're pretty upset about.
Seems like a different issue there to me. If the issue is an overcrowded cafeteria, that's a whole different issue. But also, if you're trying to relieve crowding in the cafeteria, you're given an incentive program to get kids out of the cafeteria. So it seems like it might help solve that problem too. I think we get hung up on the word segregate sometimes. It has nothing to do with race. This has to do with performance in the classroom, as I understand it, right?
Absolutely.
But attendance, yeah.
Well, I guess we ran out of time.
Okay, we want to hear from you, though. What do you think? Post your thoughts on our Fox 5 Atlanta Facebook page or tweet us at Good Day Atlanta. I'll share some of your comments in the 9 o'clock hour of Good Day. It's coming up in just a few minutes. Ahead this morning, cutting your Thanksgiving meal cost in half. The Fox 5 I-Team's Dana Fowle will share some tips to help you stay on budget. And we're following the latest developments in that deadly church shooting in Texas, what President Trump is saying about the gunman this morning.
Good morning from Fox 5 News. This is Good Day Atlanta at 9 a.m.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Monday. I'm Elise Edie.
There's so many families who've lost family members. Fathers, mothers, sons, and daughters.
A day of rest turns into a day of horror when a gunman opens fire at a Texas church. What we're learning about the gunman and the 26 worshipers killed. With Thanksgiving just a few weeks away, we'll share some tips to help you cut your Thanksgiving meal costs in half. We're checking in with Dana Fowle for that. And what's the holiday season without some decorations? Floral designer extraordinaire Caden Marshall is here with some budget-friendly do-it-yourself centerpieces to spice up your holiday table.
In tragic times, Americans always pull together. We are always strongest when we are unified. To the wounded and the families of the victims, all of America is praying for you, supporting you, and grieving alongside of you.
Offering his condolences to those affected by the deadly when a gunman stormed first church in gunman as 26-year-old was an air.
Good Day Atlanta is brought to you by WellCare.
Atlanta deserves a mayor who fights for people.
Hey, thanks for hanging with us. We're having some technical difficulties, but we've got that worked out. We're going to get back to the story from Texas. Take a look.
In tragic times, Americans always pull together. We are always strongest when we are unified. To the wounded and the families of the victims, all of America is praying for you, supporting you, and grieving alongside of you.
President Donald Trump offering his condolences to those affected by the deadly church shooting in Texas. At least 26 worshipers were killed when a gunman stormed First Baptist Church in Sutherland during Sunday services. Police have identified the gunman as 26-year-old Devin Kelly. Authorities tell us Kelly was an Air Force veteran who was court-martialed in 2012 and given a bad conduct discharge. The president says the gunman had a history of mental health problems.
I think that mental health is your problem here. This was a very, based on preliminary reports, very deranged individual. A lot of problems over a long period of time. We have a lot of mental health problems in our country, as do other countries. But this isn't a guns situation.
Authorities say Kelly's former in-laws attended the church from time to time, but they were not there yesterday. Authorities say Kelly walked down the center aisle, shooting the victims, some as young as 5 years old. Witnesses say that he was confronted by two local residents outside the church, one of whom has been identified as Johnny Langendorf. Langendorf says that he and another man chased Kelly as he tried to drive off.
I just
what I thought I needed to do, which was they said that there was a shooting. I pursued, and I just did what I thought was the right thing.
You know there were more weapons in that car. You possibly stopped them from killing other people.
I didn't know that.
Well, authorities say Kelly eventually lost control of his vehicle and crashed. He was later found dead inside of his car, but at this time we don't know if he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. We'll have the latest on the shooting with a live report from the scene in our next half hour. More on that investigation as well. Well, the shooting in Texas comes just over a month after a gunman killed 58 people when he opened fire during a concert in Las Vegas. Hundreds in Henry County gathered to remember victims of the two tragedies. Good Day Atlanta's Caitlin Pratt is live with more on their message. Caitlin, good morning.
Good morning to you. Elise, a special event organized a long time before it actually occurred. A sad coincidence taking place the day of that Texas tragedy.
What do I say? I don't know what to say. Can I express the horror of that night or the depth of my grief? Impossible.
But Dr. Heather Melton tried. And a compassionate crowd opened their hearts to her pain in Henry County, filling the Eagles Landing First Baptist Church Sunday evening. Melton lost her husband, Sonny, in Las Vegas during the mass shooting that changed so many lives. And a little more than a month later, decided to share their story to keep his memory alive. By remembering, organizers of the event hope it will help Melton and the nation deal with the violence, especially as word of another horrific shooting in Texas reopens those emotional wounds.
And as a country, we're going to stand up, united together to support people when these tragic things happen and help them to heal.
People here say in dark times, faith brings them comfort.
We just can't let that happen. We can't let them think that they can take away the love that God has given us.
And add, only time will bring healing.
He just has to grieve in their own way. And it's literally in the beginning, just a breath by breath, second by second process. And it's literally just taking everything one step at a time.
Definitely a process. The resounding message that churchgoers took away from that event: they will not let evil run their lives. That's the latest here live this morning. I'm Caitlin Pratt for Good Day Atlanta. Elise, back to you.
Pretty incredible to hear her story. Caitlin, thank you for the update. Let's get you caught up on more of the morning's headlines. Good Day Atlanta's Sharon Lawson is here with that. Sharon, good morning.
Good morning, Elise. And we're going to start with a search for a gunman who killed a man in the parking lot between two hotels in DeKalb County last night. Police say the victim, a man in his 20s, was gunned down in the parking lot separating the Motel 6 and Super 8 on Chamblee-Tucker Road. Investigators don't have a motive for the crime, but do think this was a targeted killing, saying the victim and shooter likely knew each other. Happening today, baby AJ's parents are expected to meet with Emory officials to talk about a timeline for a life-saving transplant surgery. AJ's parents have been in a battle with Emory University after the hospital refused to perform a life-saving kidney transplant. AJ's father is a compatible match, but hospital officials say since he violated his probation, they're concerned his dad won't follow the necessary guidelines. The family is set to meet with hospital officials today to work on a transplant timeline. Well, the polls open up in Atlanta in about 24 hours for voters to elect a new mayor as well as a new city council president. Nearly a dozen candidates are competing to succeed Mayor Kasim Reed. Polls will be open in Atlanta tomorrow from 7 in the morning to 8 in the evening, and you can depend on Fox 5 tomorrow night to bring you the latest results, reaction, and live reports. Elise, back to you.
Following that closely, Sharon, thank you. Time is 9:09 now, and Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Joanne Feldman is here with our AccuWeather forecast. And Joanne, in the newsroom, I was talking to some folks, and we can't figure out what to wear right now.
Right, yeah. The general agreement was just never put your summer clothes away because at least once a week you might need them.
You're so right. That's how it's been.
But don't put the fall and winter clothes away just yet either, because you'll need those later this week. We're going to take a look at the changes here. Let's start with our current temperature map, 60s, and that's happened pretty quickly. You know, in the grand scheme of things, we've had to talk about fog this morning. We have to talk about a small chance of showers today, but most of this day is going to be pretty pretty beautiful. We have plenty of sunshine in most areas. That's brought you up to 65 in Atlanta, 67 in LaGrange, but fog still trying to fight through that near Gainesville and Athens, so it's running just a little bit cooler there and in the low 60s. The rainfall chance is tied to this front right here that's kind of holding back outside of the state, but it will increase the clouds here across our northern counties. You can see some steady light showers have now dipped across Dade, Walker counties and close to Calhoun. So there's a small stretch of Interstate 75 there going into Tennessee that will be getting some rainfall. And as we go through the day, a few more of these showers can pop up closer into the metro area. We have been watching the visibility improve over the last couple of hours, as when you would expect between 9 and 10 a.m. is when that typically happens. But the fog forecast for tonight starts bringing back areas of fog pretty quickly in the evening. Now, it may not get as thick as it did this morning, but even light fog might be pretty widespread first thing Tuesday morning. And rainfall chances over the next 48 hours, this is what it looks like. Today, we're going to call this a 20% chance of rain. These are very brief showers that pass by, but there's another wave back behind this, and this will start to impact our weather late tonight and going into Tuesday. Even tomorrow is a day where not everyone gets rain, but more of you will get rain compared to today, and the wettest days are still yet to come. Notice how by Wednesday, this front is still to our north, but this low pressure is going to bring this all south and leave us with a shield of steadier rain for late Wednesday into Thursday. Those are going to be our wettest and gloomiest days, and some of our coolest too, especially Thursday when we're down to a high of 61. Today's 78 would tie a record, and then we settle kind of in normal territory for Friday and Saturday with sunny and dry weather, but then we're back to a 40% chance of rain. The temperatures start falling again for the second half of the weekend. Elise?
Gloomy, Joanne. I don't think that's how we like our forecast.
No.
All right, we'll check back in with you in just a bit. Thank you. Just before 9:12 now, and rapper Kanye West had a reunion on stage with a pretty unlikely artist. Thanks to production assistance of TMZ. TMZ founder and celebrity reporter Harvey Levin joins me live with the very latest. Harvey, good morning.
Good morning, Elise.
Hey, okay, Kanye and Kid Cudi reunited. It's been a long time. How did this go down?
Well, it has been a long time, certainly, for Kanye. Kid Cudi was performing in Chicago over the weekend, and Kanye took the stage. They sang Father Stretch My Hands Part 1, Kanye's song. And the significance of it is this, that the last time Kanye was on stage was a year ago, almost to the day, in November of last year, when he canceled his St. Pablo tour. Remember, he was having a mental breakdown, and just weeks after that, he ended up in a psych ward at UCLA. And it was a very, very serious episode. He has bounced back. He not only performed, but we know he is he's writing music right now for his next album. He's been going to Wyoming in this retreat up in the mountains, and he's been there several times writing music. So Kanye's coming back.
Yeah. That's exactly what it sounds like, Harvey. But do we know what led to them having this big reunion? Why now?
You know, we don't. Kanye is not the kind of guy who kind of lays out, this is why I'm doing it.
That's a good point.
The reason is behind it. He just doesn't do that. He just shows up. So whatever happened, happened, but he certainly didn't say. But this was a message he was sending that he is back, and we know that AEG wants to resume, whether it's called the St. Pablo tour or a new tour. They want to finish off, at the very least, finish off the concerts that were canceled last year.
Hey, well, at least that would be some good news, and it's good to see him in a better place as well. Harvey Levin live with us this morning.
Absolutely.
Harvey, thank you. Hope you have a good week.
Okay, Elise. You too.
Our special thanks to TMZ for providing production assistance for our interview. You can catch TMZ weeknights at 7:30 and midnight. TMZ Live weekdays at 1 right here on Fox 5. It's 9:14 now, and coming up on Good Day Atlanta, if you're looking to spice up your holiday decorations, we've got you covered this morning. Floral designer Kanan Marshall will show us how to wow our guests with some do-it-yourself centerpieces. And speaking of Thanksgiving, Fox 5 I-Team's Dana Fowl has an idea for cutting your Thanksgiving Day meal costs in half.